Ladies and gentlemen, this is Michael Fazio, and
this is May.
The first question is, somebody asked me if you were happy doing this kind of work, or would you prefer to do something else?
Yes, I'm happy.
Serious?
Yeah, serious.
Okay, that's like the 5th time I got asked that question. But here's a hotel update. Okay, now naturally you all know that this is going to be the view. Eventually all of those trees come out of there, and a swimming pool for the hotel next door is going to be put in that area. But right now, the reason, okay, I laid it out in a previous video why this is taking so long. But number one, I didn't get the permit until February. I applied for the land, for the permit on September 18th of 2016. That's when I signed the lease agreement. I gave the architect the money for the plans in October, the first week of October. He said they'd be done in a week. I left. They weren't done in a week. They weren't done in 6 weeks. I went to New York. Okay. I come back from New York. They're still not done. When he hands them to me, they were only for 2 floors, not 4 floors. So we had to wait until March for him to revise the plans. Then they didn't. After the plans were submitted, we had to get the CAAP permit, C-A-A-P permit. Then cannot break ground until you get the CNC permit, which we didn't get until, I think it was May, the middle of May. So we have been, then I was injured, in case anybody forgot that I didn't do much work for 4 or 5 weeks, and now we're in typhoon season. So basically, I've only had the permit to break ground since the last week of May. And then since then, we have two big holes dug for the footings. They're 2 meters by 2 meters by 2 meters down. I have one water tank 90% dug out, which is 2.5 meters by 2.5 meters deep by 5 meters long now, but it's going to be 7 meters long. Okay, so we have also set up, we had to set up the electric in the container. Daisy and I built a house to live in with electric and plumbing and aircon and insulation and shelving, and I don't know anybody else my age that could do this. But I don't know anybody else almost any age that could do this anymore, because most of the people in this world can't. Can they weld? Can they do electric? Can they do plumbing? Can they build carpentry? Do they know how to seal a roof? Do they know how to build a floor joist system? Do they know how to, what we call logistics? Does anybody understand logistics? I'm working on 125 square meters building a 4-story hotel, and that's all I have, because the rest of the property that's adjacent to mine is a parking lot for another hotel, and they don't want my stuff on their parking lot, even though they used my property to build their hotel. Now it's not reciprocal. So it's a complication that I dealt with, and I have to deal with it. So I have to be, logistically speaking, smarter than anybody I know, period. End of story. I don't know anybody else that can do electric, plumbing, revise the plans, talk to the building inspectors, talk to them, make them understand what needs to be done to get the job done, because the people here in the Philippines, even the architect, I had to explain to him 4 times. It's a 4-story hotel. He gives me plans for a 2-story hotel. Then he shows me a temporary set of plans. Well, he shows me the modification on the 2. He didn't draw new plans. He just pasted paper over the plans. And he pasted a piece of paper that said 3-story hotel. I'm going, dude, I gave you 7 pages of information. It's a 4-story hotel. And then he goes, oh yes. And then he changed the piece of paper to 4 stories. You think that you could do that? Do you really think you could do that? Do you really think that you could do that and still maintain a composure where these people will still deal with you? I have some really crazy rants, but I have to deal with people that can't do their job. I have to deal with plumbers that come here that tell me 50,000 pesos to put in a wastewater pipe above the ground. Above the ground, 36 feet long. Guy wanted $50,000. It took me and Daisy 2.5 hours to put the pipe from the toilet bowl to the septic tank. And it cost us 1,000 pesos for all the fittings. But the guy wanted $1,000. A Filipino wanted $1,000 for 3 hours work with a helper. Me and Daisy, how long did it take us to do that? Half a day, right? From the house to the septic tank. 3 hours? 4 hours?
Yeah,
Half a day. We did the whole thing in a half a day. The guy wanted. So you guys, you have. This is the long nose tax, baby. You have a guy that comes that normally makes 300 pesos a day, maybe 500 pesos for 1 day, and he comes and gives me a price for 50,000 pesos, and I had the pipe laying next to where it was going. All he had to do was run the pipe from the toilet bowl to the thing, because I was in a hurry, and I decided, well, there's a plumber next door. Let me see how much he wanted. He only wanted 50, and he was going to use my pipe. He told me he had his own glue. That's what he said. He had his own glue. So if you think that the long nose tax isn't in full swing in the Philippines, you got another thing coming to you. So if I went this week to get a pin for the machine, was part of my agreement with the owner of the machine is to repair the equipment, bring it up to grade, so to speak. So he keeps the equipment on my property, plus he has another piece of property that I rent him also, and I fix the equipment. So one of the things I needed to do was get a 2¼ inch pin by 17-inch long, solid steel. I go to the store, to the welding shop. One guy tells me 1,500 pesos, which is 30 bucks for a 2¼ inch pin, 17 inches long. Okay, it's round stock. It's okay, cut it. He's in the process of moving his equipment out of the way to cut the bar. He's in the process. Another guy walks over and says, what are you doing? He says, well, I'm going to cut 2 pieces of steel about this size for the bottom of the bucket for 1,100 pesos each, and 1,500 pesos for the round bar. And they go, oh, no, that's the wrong price, sir. I said, well, this is the guy that does this work. No, sir. Well, how much is it? 4,500 for the pin, which was 1,500. So we tripled the price 3 times. 3 times he tripled the price. 3. And the 1,100 peso pieces of 1/4 inch steel, which were no bigger than this, just for the bottom of the bucket, they went from 1,100 pesos to 2,200 pesos. Now the pin weighs 10 kilos, thereabouts, 20, maybe 12 kilos. They buy steel at 50 pesos a kilo. So let's say it weighed 15 kilos. It cost them 750 pesos for the steel. So normal steel increase price is double the price of the steel to cut it, store it, stock it, cut it. Just one simple cut. So it should have been 1,500 pesos, which is what the first guy told me. But the second guy comes along and he's like, they're doing it in a shady manner. I don't understand them, but I know that I should be bent over with my legs spread apart wide. So when he tells me 1,500 pesos, and then I said, and how much for the plates? So those are 2,200 pesos. The plates weighed 3 kilos apiece, maximum. They should have been 150 pesos. They should have been 300 pesos a piece, but now he wanted 2,200 pesos a piece because he had a cut. It was square like this and round like this, about this big. It was less than 2 square feet of steel, 1/4 inch plate, 2,200 pesos, 3 kilos a piece. So that would have been, all right, 500 for cutting, 600 for the plate, 1,100 for the price. That's good, but it changed it to 2,200 pesos. So now I don't have the pin. I'll go to a junkyard and get a pin probably for 1,000 pesos for scrap price. But, or maybe I'll pay less than 1,000 pesos. I could use an old drive shaft out of a truck or something like that. You know, like a solid drive shaft from an old machine like they have here. But the point is, you people think that you could do this. I don't think you could do this. I don't think any of you can do it. And then I get a guy named Jack saying, you've been doing this for 2 years. No, Jack, I only got the permit in the month of May. I think around May 18th. And then what do you think? You think you just get the permit and you start? No. Then I could put the fence up. Then I could start getting the equipment here. Then I could start doing the job. What do you think? It's all just set up like I have 100 men working for me? No, it's logistics first. I have to set up a welding apparatus.